Hello, hello. My name is Andrea and welcome to the Pioneer Homestead. We live on a homestead here in Idaho where we like to call it off-grid, and we try to live pioneer style. So if you're interested in things like that, please give us a big thumbs up, hit that like button and subscribe. That helps us out so that our channel can get to more people. So this is a video that I've wanted to do for a long time. I talked about doing it a while back, and you know, with the weather and things like that, you never know in Idaho what, the Lord's gonna give us for weather. So it is springtime and the snow is starting to melt. And so I thought, what better time than now to give you guys a video on our rabbit house. We acquired a rescue rabbit last August, September, and it has been so much fun. We had no idea what we were doing. It was a rabbit that our sons really, really wanted, and kind of sucker for cute little kids who ask for things. And so it's something that we wanted to do anyways for a while, just to see kind of how we are doing and if we're going to do okay with rabbits, and if it's something maybe we'd want to do for meat rabbits, that sort of thing. So we have a male rabbit. His name is Hopper. He is part Holland Lop and part Lionhead, and he is adorable. He's so cute. He has personality. But where we live, we have wind and obviously really cold winters. It got down to about -35 so far this winter, and this is the end of March. So we wanted to make sure that he was going to survive the winter, and we were informed by many people who live locally, and then also watching YouTube videos, doing research on articles and blogs, and reading lots and lots of books, that the most, I can hear him, the most important thing was not just protecting him from the cold elements, but also the wind. So we built a rabbit house. So this is our winterized rabbit house, and we built it for $0. That's right, $0. So I want to talk to you guys today just a little bit about how we did that, how wonderful it was, what a great project, hard work, because we had no idea what we were doing. We kind of had an idea of what we wanted, but we weren't 100% sure. So the way that the angle of the roof is particular in specifics to the wind. So, and also the snow, we get a lot of snow. So I will tell you that I had to, when we got lots of dumpings of snow, I would come out here and I would shovel off his roof. You can see in the back right here, there's a little bit of tarp. There is a section that I wanted to make sure, I wasn't 100% sure that it was sealed. And if we liked this idea, then we were gonna do some foam, like the Expand-A-Foam, just on the roof, just to make sure. And I would also recommend, for future reference, if you do get a lot of snow or rain, that sort of thing, and you're worried about protecting your animals, making sure that they are officially waterproof, to put something like a Flex Seal on the roof, so it just rubberizes and just repels all of that moisture, rain, snow, all that stuff. So how we built this for $0 is because we salvaged. We salvaged a lot of things. We kind of had an idea what we wanted to do for our rabbit cage-ish protection area, but we weren't 100% sure. So we just started collecting things as we saw them. We knew that in our area, metal roofing was probably going to be the best thing to protect him, so that's what we did. But what we did for the outer area is we made the back 3 panels, not the front, the back 3 panels we made out of pallets, and we turned them on their side and we screwed them together. Then the next thing that we did is we stuffed it full, we wrapped it with leftover, well, I don't know if you can see it, you can't really see it, but a tarp. We had a leftover tarp here on our property. It's the same blue color that we have up here. We just had an extra tarp that was left over. It wasn't perfect, so we wrapped it in that, and then we just stapled it. So there's staples all along the sides and on the top, and we just kind of wrapped the whole thing. And then what we ended up doing is inside where the pallets are, where there's all the holes, we ended up putting straw. So we did have to pay for the straw, which I think was like under $10 for a big bale of straw. We just got at our local farm and feed store. And that was it. That was our total cost. Everything else we either salvaged or we had here on the property just from projects and things like that that we've done. I'm pretty sure that the tarp was to cover our wood piles. And so we wrapped it, and then after we wrapped it, we stuffed it full of the straw. And then after we put the straw in, we put the roof on, and the roof is just basically a piece of wood here, and here. And we did use, you can see right here, this is a little bit of T111 that we had left over from a section of our house that we were trying to use with our water tank. So just for some support. I am only 5'2", so this does not bother me. My husband, however, has hit his head on it numerous times, but I know it's kind of janky looking, but you know what? It works, and it's held up through winds. It's held up through snow, a little bit of rain. And then we just nailed the salvaged tin roofing to these sections here, and then there's braces under here. A few of them, I kind of just sectioned them out. They're about 6 inches apart, 8 inches apart. And then I just screwed on top with just regular screws. I didn't even use roofing screws down to here. And there is a piece of more tarp that I did put from here all the way down just for like an extra added protection. And then the reason why we did this the way that we did is it's called reverse composting. If you guys don't know anything about it, look it up. It's fantastic. It's really great. The theory is that, I know it's so gross, but the theory is that the compost that your rabbit makes, you'll be able to not only use, which is one of the reasons why we have a rabbit, because you can use rabbit droppings immediately, unlike chicken manure, cow manure, horse manure, that sort of thing that has to sit because it's so hot. The rabbit manure you can use immediately. So if you didn't already know that and you have someone and you're wanting that, look up somebody in your area who has rabbits and maybe use it and see what you think before you just go making the commitment for rabbits. Because one thing I will say is we had to make 100% sure that we wanted rabbits, because we know that if you don't already know, we're Christians, and we believe that God gave us dominion over the animals, and with that there's a responsibility, and we have to make sure to take care of our animals and not let anything happen to them. So we want to be responsible with our animals. We want to make sure that they are warm and cozy for the winter time. And so what we did is reverse composting. And so basically we have our rabbit cage. I'll show you. We have our rabbit cage, and I'll show you how I balanced him on some more pieces of wood like this that we had just salvaged. And so what we did is the tarp on the inside, we poked holes in. I just used an X-Acto knife and I just cut out some holes, and I fit in between the 3 sides, I fit pieces of wood like this that were a little bit longer that fit in there that hold his cage up. So I could still pull his cage out, and I could still, you know, clean, because some of the droppings don't always get down in there, and he has cardboard in there to help keep him warm. So move those around. We replace the cardboard every so often, about once a week. And so we need to be able to move that. But other than that, the only cost besides the straw was his original cage, which we have dismantled. We've taken out the slider trays. If you know anything about rabbits, you know that usually a cage comes with a tray that you pull out, and then you can go dump it. We just took that out. So this is what we did. So we ended up using this piece of plastic. It's pretty heavy. It's like doubled. Yes, it is doubled. I doubled it, and then we took a piece of board at the bottom and we rolled it up. So we laid out this whole piece of plastic on the ground here, and then we rolled the end and I stapled it again, and then I nailed it, screwed it both to the bottom of these 2 pallets here. And the reason I put straw up here was just added protection for warmth, that sort of thing. We do when it's sunny out and it's not windy, and if it's not, you know, negative 30 degrees, I do leave this open for a couple hours so he can get some sun, so he can get some air and some breathe. But the whole purpose is his own manure will keep him warm. So I kind of just did what we had, and so I screwed in. So there's a board here, there's a board at the bottom, and this board right here is on the outside. So you know, it just didn't cave in. And it was also stability for the 3 pellets. I mean, this is solid. It's not nailed to the ground or anything. And then I screwed in screws right here and right here, and that allowed me to tie some string to it. We just had leftover twine, and this is how we hold up this whole section. So I'll show you what we do to feed him every day. You can't use a regular water, rabbit water, in the winter time. It will freeze. So we just had a little, I think it was like a vitamin cup, washed it out really good, and then we used that in order to put his water in. And you do need to make sure that you are changing your rabbits' water, giving them new water twice a day. If you are in cold areas freezing, because their water will freeze, and obviously then they can't get any water. So we just chose a smaller section. I know with more animals like chickens and cows, horses, things like that, they have these rubber things, but since we live off grid, we don't have the ability to be able to have a warming tray out here for him. So it means more manpower for us, but it's okay. And we get to talk to him, and he's so cute. Hi, Hopper. Hi, buddy. I love him. He has the cutest personality. He's so adorable. Anyways, so you can see right here, this is lined also with with pieces of wood slats all the way back. And then I just put another piece of plastic on it, put all of the straw in it, and you can see I lined his cage under here. You can see I lined it with more straw on all 3 sides. Now this is his favorite side because I did put another piece of this T111 right here just for added warmth and heat. This is the side where he gets the wind. If he was to get any, would be this side over here. And so he does like to get into some of his straw and take it out and eat it. He eats it and plays with it. And we give him a carrot a day. So we try to buy organic carrots if we don't have any from our garden. We give him water every day. And in the back in here, you can see you can still use your regular rabbit feeder. We just make sure that he has plenty of food all winter long. And he usually has a piece of wood that we leave in there so he can gnaw on his teeth, so his teeth don't get so long. And that's it. Over the winter, he kind of just hangs out in there, and we talk to him, and we pick him up and snuggle him, and he stays warm. So this piece of wood right here does not go anywhere. In the springtime, what will happen when we're ready to use his manure is we will unscrew it from here, and we'll pull it down, we'll clean it all out, and we will use it right here. You can see in the background is our garden all winterized. It looks ugly, but it is all winterized right now. So we can have this. Location is another key thing, if I didn't already say that. We have him right next to our garden, so it's easy for us just to take it right into the garden or either side right next to our greenhouse, and we can use it immediately. So down in here, I don't know if you can see, down in here is the rest of his manure. It's about this high right now, about this high, and so it's not even halfway high in there. So he is able to do all the things that he needs to do for the winter time, and he stays nice and warm. So these slats right here are the ones that I used to put on each side. There's 4 of them. So I would say probably total I would say probably 10, 12 pieces of slats, and they look like, I don't know, 1x4s, 1x3s, 1x2s. And again, it doesn't matter what you use, just whatever you can salvage, whatever you can get for free. And again, the tin roof, we actually saw somebody who was getting rid of it and said, can we please have that? And they just gave it to us. The pallets we got for free from a neighbor who had done a building project and they didn't need them. Usually you can buy pallets for about $2, sometimes less. Sometimes people will get rid of them and just give them away. We use pallets a lot on our homestead, from holding in wood, because we have, you know, a lot of wood stacks, because since we live off grid, our main source of heat, our only source of heat, is a wood cook stove. And so we have to have it for cooking, we have to have it for heating our house, and so we have to have a lot of stacks of wood. And so I think ours hold, 3 pallets in length, 3 pallets, and 3 pallets is about 3 to 4 cords of wood, if I can remember right. I think it's about 3 cords of wood. And so we have a few of those on our property. And so pallets are super useful. You can take them apart, you can build neat projects, you can just use them as is. And so we will be using those as we get to do our chicken coop really soon. So we're really excited about that. Hopefully we'll take you guys along for that adventure. But this has been great. So we will just unscrew this, you pull it down, and then you get to use your manure. And he has stayed so warm. Even when it was -35, he was nice and warm and cozy in here. I always just make sure, usually I set my gloves on top of here just to make sure that there's no, you know, gaps or anything like that in here, so that he stays nice and warm. And you can see he's just completely cozy. He has a little piece of wood in here that he can play on, or if he doesn't want to be sitting on his cardboard. And then we put straw in there and a carrot, water, and his food, and he's happy. He's so happy. And the boys love coming out here and visiting with him, holding him. My husband, he loves my husband, so he loves to let him pick him up. And you can see this is right here is where the straw is, right here. And so it's nice and insulated. And now if it does end up getting moldy for some odd reason, what we'll do is, it's easy to take out his cage, pull out the pieces of wood that are inside because they're not screwed down or anything like that. And then we can pull off the tarp that's on here, and it would be easy just to, you know, use an X-Acto knife and just cut it all out, put new straw in, and start all over again. So, you know, you look back at our ancestors and you look back at the pioneers, and what did they use? You think about things like that. They didn't have tarps. Their tarps were usually felt or canvas, things like that. They used burlap. They used what they had. They sticks and leaves, and what they used for bedding, you know, feathers and things like that, straw a lot of the time. And it kept them warm. They survived. And so here at Pioneer Homestead, we're trying really hard to stick with simple. We want to give you guys simple ideas, cheap ideas, things that actually work, that we've done, that we truly believe work and are going to help you all out there on your self-sufficient homesteading, whether you live in the city and you can do things in small spaces, or whether you live on a 100-acre plus farm or homestead ranch, where you just want to keep learning more things. And that's another thing. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Keep educating yourself. We were reading this morning in a magazine that I'm going to talk about here pretty soon, in an upcoming video, on self-sufficiency and educating yourself. And there's so many resources out there. YouTube is great. You know, your local community, from gardening clubs and farmers markets and local farmers, 4-H, FFA, those things, tap into those, because all those people know local farmers that can help you, to your neighbors, wherever you live. But also a lot of resources and books. And I think people forget about books because we're in an age where there's so much technology, but don't forget about those important things. You can learn so much. But in one of those magazines this morning, we were reading, and I was just amazed at the neat ideas that people come up with, things that I hadn't even thought of, and things that I had thought of that I've seen other people use now that work, which makes me really excited, because when you learn from other people and how they've done things with what works and what doesn't, it helps save you your time and your money on things that didn't work. Whether you live in a different climate or whether you have different resources, and not everybody has. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that have a lot of money, or they are being sponsored. I'm not sponsored. We're not sponsored. We're just very small. We just do with what we can. We live on a super small one income budget that is actually a disabled retirement from my husband's railroad. We don't have a lot of money, and so we need to get resourceful. And so I'm really encouraging you guys, just keep going ahead, keep researching, and you know, read and watch as many things as you possibly can, and trial and error. You know, there are, again, a lot of trial and error things, but don't give up. Just keep doing it and start small. And that was one thing that we have learned a lot, is start small. We didn't go get 100 cages and start meat rabbits right away. We did not bite off more than we can, you know, more than we can chew, so to speak. And again, we want to be responsible with the resources that God gave us, but at the same time, you know, we do want to keep growing. And I feel like we've pretty much mastered this portion of it, and keeping animals alive off grid. And that was our number one goal this winter, was, can we do it? Can we, you know, still be good stewards of what we've been given? You know, God gives you a little, and you do good with what you have, and then he will give you more if he sees fit. And then you continue to work on that and grow that. And you know, sometimes you find things that you're going to do, and then other things, and you don't like them. You end up not liking them. You think, okay, well, I tried it, I did it, and you know, let's try this instead. And he's been a blast. You can see him in there. He's just so cute. He's just so cute. He does have quite the personality. And when he hears me, before I even open up, hi Hopper, hi buddy, he will go round and round. I can hear him in there. He gets very excited every day. So he's always a joy to enjoy. I was out of commission for a couple weeks. I'll be talking about that in an upcoming video, another video. We got quite a few videos coming out for you guys. I know that I said I had some exciting stuff coming up. We have got videos back to back coming up for you guys. I was out of commission, we'll talk about, and my husband was the one that was out here feeding him, and I truly missed him. So yeah, and another thing too, I know it's so funny, but sing to your rabbits, talk to your rabbits, talk to your animals. They love it. Your chickens, it's like a cat, a dog, whatever. They're still animals, you know, they still need people. So anyways, I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions, like I said, I mean, we do have the backing. I forgot to say that we do have the back. It is not pretty. And we do not have a metal cutter. We have tried, we borrowed someone else's and we were awful at it. We used it in our house and it's, you know, whatever. Around our wood stove, you do have to have a fire protection. And it worked. We did it. It doesn't look pretty, but so we have not cut that off, and it is just not pretty. I mean, maybe we'll spray paint this so it's not so whatever, but it doesn't matter, you guys. It's keeping your animals warm. If you care about aesthetics, this is not the channel for you. Inside the house, that's a different story, but you know, we got to do with what we got to do with what we got. So I hope this encouraged you guys. If you don't know, this is a pet lodge cage, and like I said, there were slats that came on each side, and there was a tray that came underneath, and that's what we took off. So the entire cage is just that. This is something we did have to put together. It comes in a box and you put it together. It was so great to do with the boys. It was just it took us a couple hours reading the directions and having little people help, and it was hands down worth it. A lot of fun. You know, we homeschool, and so these are projects we get to do, and it's fun, and they're learning how to follow directions, and the Lord's giving us patience, and so it's been fun. So, and then I do periodically put more straw, like I said, on that side because he eats it. So yeah, he's happy. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, share. If you can share this video, that'd be awesome. And some of the upcoming videos that we have is a oatmeal bread, easy, no knead oatmeal bread. It's super easy. There's like, I don't know, 6 ingredients or something like that. Super easy. I make it a lot. You can turn it into bread, rolls, breadsticks, whatever you want. We have that coming up. We have a water wood stove mix kind of thing going on, how we do dishes, and that goes along with kind of my injury. We also have granola making, some more money saving tips on how to save money in the home with the prices of everything going up. We have another one on that I never really thought that people might even think was interesting, but I guess they are. So we have that coming up, and yeah, just a lot of neat things. I was going to kind of show you guys our wood pellets. I know I said that before, so I thought maybe I could take you along as my husband stacks wood and show you what exactly that we did in order to hold all of our wood and to keep it dry and not moldy. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for watching and subscribing, liking to the Pioneer Homestead. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye.